Very good morning. Well, I am Rajnish. Here I am looking after the COI Constitution of the India. Today, I am here with the historical perspective of the Indian Constitution. This is the important topic. In my last lectures, I taught you the so many intricacy about the historical perspective of the Indian Constitution. The thought of the earlier day, which I delivered to you, that was the important to understand this topic. Historical perspective of the Indian Constitution cannot be understood without my previous lecture. So, I am here with again Indian Constitution. Basically, by knowing the Indian Constitution, you have to go for some decades back. Here, the Government of India Act 1919, 1990 and the Government of India Act 1935. The important thing, the Government of India Act 1919 is simply a combination of the upper house plus the lower house, that is the bicameral house. That is bicameral house. Here, the important thing is here that the Government of India Act is the comprised of the upper house and the lower house. And earlier I made you clear this term bicameral house. Again, this is the topic. Here we have, and second topic here is the UPSC, BPSC, UPPSC. Means this is basically a government administrative function, because to run the Indian Constitution you need some bureaucracy, you need some staffing. This is the government backed government organization, that is the UPSC, BPSC and the UPSC. This Government of India Act was of the 1990. Then after a act, the Government of India Act 1935. Here the all Indian federations, federation is nothing, it is simply a comprise or a combinations of the provinces and the princely estate. Here provinces is nothing, it is simply a state, and the princely estate like the Nizam of the Hyderabad, Mysore. Here the legislative power, emergency power, and you will surprised to know it, the Government of the India Act 1935 has been taken in the Indian Constitution about the 75%. You can say the existing Indian Constitution is taken or borrowed from the Government of India Act 1935. So this is the important thing. Here, India and independence, I am discussing here very chronologically, very systematically, 1919, 1935, then after here I am coming 1947, India and independence. India divided in the two, real India divided in the two parts, India and the Pakistan. Here, India and the Pakistan, here the Governor General or the Vice Chancellor were the Lord Mountbatten. Here I am coming here a very important topic here. The first idea of the Constitution, mind it, the idea of the Constitution was brought and given by Mr. M.L. Das in the year 94. In the 1934. In the 1934, the idea of the Constitution was given by Mr. M.L. Das. Indian National Congress supported the idea of the Constitution in the year 95. 34, idea given by the M.L. Das. 35, supported by the Indian National Congress. Cabinet mission recommended for the Indian Constitution in the year 1946. In the year 1946, the cabinet mission recommended that India is to be independent in the coming days, so they needed a constitution. 1946. Same year formed the Constitutional Assembly in the year 1946. As soon as India realized that the government British government is going to give us the independence in the years to come. That very time, in the 1946, they formed the Constitutional Assembly. In the Constitutional Assembly, in the total India, there were the 389 seats. 389 seats was the divided in the provinces in the 296 and the princely 93. When you will add 296 and 93, that will be equal to 389. Here the provinces were 296 and the princely estate were the 93. In the historically and the systematically date-wise, in the 9 December 1946, the first meeting of the Constitutional Assembly scheduled, and the first president of the Constitutional Assembly meeting was the Sachidanand Sinha, temporary. Basically, the Sachidanand Sinha was the very old man. He was the first president of the Constitutional Assembly and he held the post as a temporary for the only one day. On the 9th December, he was the president. On the 11th December 1946, same year, the president of the Constitutional Assembly meeting was headed by the Dr. Rajendra Prasad as a permanent president. Here, mind it, Sachidanand Sinha was the only for the 1 days as a temporary because he was man of a very old age. And here Rajendra Prasad took his seat in the year of just after 1 days, 11th December 1946. On the 13th December 1946, the resolution of the objective conducted by the Jawaharlal Nehru. 13th of the December 1946, the headed by a resolution of the objective conducted by the Jawaharlal Nehru. On the 20th January 1947, the objective resolution was opted. Means the India accepted the objective resolution opted. On the 15th August 1947, India earned independence. As we all know, the formation of the Indian Constitution was the majorly with the two important points. One is the rules and the procedure of the steering committee and headed by the Rajendra Prasad, and the second, the drafting committee headed by the B.R. Rao Ambedkar. As you know, the B.R. Rao Ambedkar was the chief architect of our constitution, and finally 26th Jan 1950 enforced the Indian Constitution. Here, you must know about the expense of the Indian Constitution during that period time was the 64 lakhs. Idea was the taken of for the forming and the frames of our constitution taken from the 60 countries, and the period of the drafting has been the 2 years and the 11 months and the 3 days, and the chief architect Dr. B. Rao Ambedkar. In this manner, these are the chronological sequence of the historical perspective of the Indian Constitution. Here, I am again recapping historical perspective of the Indian Constitution that comes, and this is the second topic of the COI. Here, the Indian Constitution has been the majorly conceived from the Government of India Act 1919 and the Government of the India Act 1935. Around the 75% of the Indian Constitution has been borrowed from the Government of India Act 1935. Then after India earned independence in the 1947, real India divided in the two parts under the Viceroyship, and the Governor General of the India was the Lord Mountbatten. During that period, it was the M.L. Das who very first appreciated the idea of the Constitution in the 1934. Then after, Indian National Congress INC supported the idea of the Constitution in the 1935. Then after, the Cabinet Mission recommended for in the days to come where India is going to be independent country, their need. So in the 1935, recommended in the year 1946, and the same year formed the Constitutional Assembly. In the total number of the Constitutional Assembly member was the 389, and that was the addition of the provinces 296 and the princely 93. When you will add 296 added with the 93, finally 389 will come. 9 December 1946, the first meeting of the Constitutional Assembly was headed by the Sachidanand Sinha as a temporary president. Then after, in the 11th December 1946, the President of the Constitutional Assembly was the Rajendra Prasad as a permanent member, and then after 13th December 1946 resolution of the Executive headed and conducted by the Jawaharlal Nehru, finally on the 22nd Jan 1947 objective resolution opted by India, and the 15 August 1947 India earned independence. The Indian Constitution was written under the two major important points: the rule of the procedure of the steering committee headed by the Rajendra Prasad, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and the drafting committee headed by the Bhimrao Ambedkar. And finally, 26 Jan 1950, India enforced the constitution. The expense of the constitution has been the 64 lakhs. India taken this idea of the constitution from the 60s countries, and the period of the drafting 2 years, 11 months and the 3 days, and the chief architect of our constitution is Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. In this manner, in the chronological sequence, you must know, and this is the important for your assignment and for your upcoming examination. In the meantime, thanking you very much.